the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes, but don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone, and when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't know why I'm not on radio. I knew I connected. And I just checked it. Something told me to just check it. It's not showing up. So I'm going to just restart everything and see what happens. Huh. Pretty strange things around here for the new year. Okay. Alrighty then. I'm thinking the last time this happened, it was because something was unplugged on the back of the board. So let me just double check. Make sure everything's plugged in properly. And yeah, everything looks good back there. Let's see here now. Let's make sure. This is connected to the board. That's connected to properly. Anybody in Radio Land hearing me? Good morning, K-Man. Starting off the new year with some tech issues. Imagine that. All right, let's see what we can do. Strange. Or they say something strange is happening in the neighborhood. Good morning. Uh-oh. Let me see. All right, give me a second. Let me see if I can do anything here. All right, we're gonna try to restart everything. All right, give me a second. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Just trying to make sure that we are on radio. Give me just a few. Gonna see what we can do. All right, folks, the show must go on. I don't know what to tell you. I did what I could on this end and not seeing what the issue is, I'm afraid. So let's just continue on, honey chill. I don't think there's anybody on the other end yet for the new year is a problem. So there's no one there to assist me in the studio. So everything is automated. Let me see if I can message. What's his name? Okay. Okay. All right. We shall go on because I know you guys are here, all of you on social media. And we'll do what we can do. If there's anyone there at all who can eventually restart it, I will certainly put in the requests, but I kind of think everybody's on vacation. So how is everybody doing for 2026? Good morning, Marshall. Good morning. Let me send out the links to everyone. I know people are patiently waiting. So let's get this train on the road this morning. So yes, how old were you when you discovered that all you had to do was click that little profile picture and on Facebook, and that will take you right to the Facebook live feed? I just discovered it last week myself. Had no clue. Makes sense though, because it does say live right there. So it kind of makes sense that they would integrate that into it. All right, let me check the YouTube feed here for you guys. And dun dun dun. Yes, okie dokie. So we've had a lot of people losing stuff. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how many items. And yeah, let me just, I see somebody asking me about radio. Okay. You got to join us online, honey child. Okay. So yes, lots of people losing stuff. It's quite unfortunate because, oh my gosh, I think you guys need to be careful around this time of year. Like you got celebrating and you're losing rings and bracelets and dogs. And, you know, I told you guys already, the poor dogs just run off because of the fireworks. Most of them are negatively impacted by the fireworks, unfortunately. And so, you know, they find it very difficult to cope with the noise. I can tell you, as someone who's owned dogs all of my adult life, pretty much, I can tell you that they seem to really, really suffer because of the fireworks. And so, you know, some are suffering more than others. If they're outside, for example, by themselves, where they don't have the comfort of their human companion to try to calm them down, some react a little bit worse than others as well. I've seen that. Like I've actually had a dog who was severely, one year he actually tried to dig himself out of the house. Like he was inside, but he literally tried to dig himself out, and he did that through the kitchen cupboards. Like, I don't know, he opened the door to where the sink is, and he just started digging. So when I went out for New Year's Eve, and when I got back after the new year, to my shock and surprise, Oscar had dug into the what would the bottom of the sink be made of? It wasn't real wood. It was like that chip wood, whatever that was, in my apartment. He had literally dug through that. There was like a big hole in it. And he was digging so feverishly to try to get out, I guess. I don't know what he was really trying to do, because I'm like, you can't get out that way. But in the dog's mind, maybe he thought he could. And his poor little paws were like all bloody and everything. And that's the most extreme case that I've personally seen of a dog who was, you know, in the middle of it and being impacted by it. So I do know that a lot of dogs are negatively impacted by it. And, until the day comes that I guess we ban fireworks, which I don't see that happening. What are you going to do? There's some spectacular fireworks all over the world. It's not great for the environment. There's like so many factors to it, but I don't know what to tell you. So it's quite unfortunate. And, I always tell people, as I told you, Christmas or New Year's Eve, to try to secure your dogs. Like, bring them indoors, bring them in the garage, play music for them. Like we turn on the TV so that, Zeus has other noise. But I think you have to remember their ears are incredibly sensitive compared to ours. And so, they still hear a lot of it. Poor things. So a lot of the doggies ran off, and I know that some have been found, some are still missing. So it's kind of sad. All right. Let me move over this way so that the Instagram folks can see me in the vertical feed. Okay. Sorry, Instagram. I just realized I'm a little bit off-centered for you guys. So let me move this way. There we go. That's better. Hi, Instagram. How you guys doing? Damaris is here. How cold is it in New York? Oh my gosh, New York must be cold. Hi, Keenan. How are you? So happy New Year to all of you. Keenan says to play Bob Marley, Rise Up This Morning. We have to be careful with copyrighted stuff because it can get us, blocked on social media. So we don't necessarily want to do that. But do I know that song? Rise Up This Morning. But boy, we love him, Bob Marley. Oh yeah. Let me see. Okay, we got Three Little Birds. Rise Up This Morning. I don't know that I don't know that I know that song. Hold on, let me listen to a little clip. Oh, yes, I know it as like Three Little Birds. Okay. Okay. I thought the name of the song is Three Little Birds. Gotcha. Vanessa, congratulations on your engagement. She's still traveling. She said she's in Amsterdam. Her and her honey got engaged over the holidays. Congrats. Marshall, good morning. David, how you doing? So good to see you. Miss Lucille, so glad that you're with us. Thank you so much joining us from the UK. So happy New Year. There's people still partying, Andrew. It is the second. So Lucky Body says, I can't believe I'm going to be 26 this year. Oh my gosh, you're a baby. 26. To be 26 again. Well, maybe not. Yes, 26. It's a good age, man. It's a good age. Although I feel like the best age is like in your 40s. You've got the experience under your belt. By then, you probably have a pretty decent job. Your finances are better. In your 20s, my honey child, the struggle is real. Oh my God. You're still out there struggling to pay bills and all that fun stuff. But congrats for you reaching 26. Every year is a blessing, I'll tell you what. Strong Wilts, good morning and Happy New Year to you. Aliano's here for it. Good morning, Miss Linda. Happy New Year. Don't understand why it's happening. Fireworks, that is. Yeah, Jim, it's something that's so ingrained, not just in Cayman culture and community, but all over the world. I saw some spectacular ones. Somebody was posting one from like Australia. And wow, that was pretty big. The Minister for Education and Training and Finance, through Honorable Ralston Anglin, he actually, I'm going to post up one from the one that they did down in West Bay. It was really quite spectacular. I mean, people, oh, hold on. People do enjoy it. And, looking at it, you have to admit that it is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of things to consider, but honey child, Jim, that's one thing that we are not changing. I hate to give up so easily, but I know the battle. Every time I talk about it, people message me, cussing me out. What are you talking about? Well, here we're not bothered by people not being happy about what we say. That's not going to change in 2026. But it is what it is. Yeah, Andrew, he says dogs are very sensitive to sound and their surroundings. Yeah, dogs are sensitive to a lot of things. I think we don't give them as much credit for being as sensitive as they are, but definitely sounds impact them. They have a more sensitive smell than we do, for example. So, we don't really, we don't do a good job of appreciating, I think, what our animals go through. So, yeah. So poor little Zeus, he was so scared. But we had him, first of all, we rang in the new year. We went to dinner. We had an all-you-can-eat lobster night at Boathouse. Big shout out to them. This is where Guy Harvey's used to be. And it was good. Yep, good price, good food. We enjoyed ourselves. We got dressed up a little bit. Did you guys see us dressed up? You should see us dressed up. Yeah, we were dressed up. I put on a nice little dress that I hadn't ever worn, actually, that was just sitting in my closet. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw that dress on. And I was kind of impressed myself. I was like, ooh, this is looking good. And when you've lost a few pounds and things are shaping up just a little bit, I'm like, fitting in all the right places. Yes, honey child. So I did that, all black. And Gigi wore all white. She wore a white dress. She's like, I feel like I'm in a wedding, because it was actually one of the dresses that we had ordered for when she was a flower girl, because we ordered a few dresses to see which one the bride would prefer. So I was like, yeah, girl, rock that dress. That dress is beautiful. Marlon put on a little jacket and suit, and we went out with some friends, and we had a good time. It was really nice. And they had a good crowd there. They had, looks like they were, I wouldn't say packed the whole time, but they had a good crowd coming and going, some really big tables and stuff like that. So it was all good. So then we had dinner, and of course, when you have a 9-year-old, you can't really be out too late because child would be getting tired. And so we made it home in time. I think like maybe after 10 o'clock, we were home already. And yeah, we were like, okay, we'll ring in the new year at home. And that's what we did, watching a movie. We did the same thing last year. Had a movie on, turn up the volume a little bit so that Zeus can be distracted. But you can still see he was like pacing a little bit. He was uncomfortable. He kept coming up by me and kind of like wanting to sit in my lap, but like really on top of me. And I was like, okay, let him get under the covers, yeah, poor little thing. So that's what's going on with our poor animals, poor tings. So let me show you guys. I did a little sort of cartoon look for I took her picture and made it into a Happy New Year photo as well. So, ooh, somebody just sent me their picture of them in snow. Oh, I love it. Oh, that looks cold. Lots of snow and the water in the background. Next year, maybe we'll do snow. I don't know. The thing about the holidays is, unfortunately, Marlon can't travel during, it's like a blackout period for him for work. So that's the difficulty of us going anywhere around the holidays. So yeah, so this was us all dolled up for the season. There we are, New Year's get up. And this is my little my New Year's card that I made from that. So I took this picture, fixed it all up, and there we are. And we just threw Zeus in there because he's part of the family. Zeus looks really good in this picture, actually. He's such a happy dog. So yes, I hope that your new year is off to a smashing start. We obviously have a lot to discuss this morning, and we will be getting to it. Yes, Jim, that's right. 2026 is going to be the year of AI revolution right here on CMR. We're going to take it up a notch. We've been doing it already, but we're going to keep it on. All you can eat $15 lobster. No, it wasn't $15, but it was a 3-course meal. And it was, you got an appetizer. So I did the Caesar salad. Then you could do a dessert. So they had like 2 options for dessert. One was a cheesecake and then sticky toffee. You guys know I love sticky toffee, but I don't make every and anybody do my sticky toffee. So unless they already have a reputation for sticky toffee, I kind of don't try it because I'm like, it's easier to get cheesecake right. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Wee Wee. So yeah, I had the cheesecake but I mean, listen, after 2 rounds of like lobster, like they bring the lobster back, I was like, oh my God, I was so stuffed. Couldn't take a message. I was so stuffed. Thank you so much. Yeah, I loved the dress. It was really, it occurred to me though that I need to get myself some strapless bras for certain dresses. But yeah, it was, it was a good fit. And I love how the bottom kind of flared out a little bit. It had like some lace at the bottom. But yep, that's us to you. Wishing you guys an amazing and happy new year from the Hill Squad. Oh, Nero has been found. Yay. That's one of the dogs that was missing. I know, right, Gabby? That was cleavage showing. Yeah. Gabby's like, is that skin showing? Yep. Nero has been found. Yippee. Aw, good. Poor little Nero. He was missing. He looks like a German Shepherd mix of some sort. So that's one more dog that has thankfully been found. This one too, King has been found. So I know, Wendy, I see you. I'm coming to you. Give me 2 seconds. So here we have King. He had gone missing too. Poor little patootie. He's now been found. Nero has been found. So let me see. Where's Nero? These poor dogs, they were on the run, man. So hopefully they will all come back home. Like I said, they get nervous and they just run off. So, yeah, poor little things. So this is Nero. He's now just got the message on my WhatsApp that Nero is now back. He's a beautiful dog. Very, very handsome. Miss Gina Berry, good morning. Happy New Year. The real Teresa says, love the picture. You rocked the dress. Thank you so much. Thank you, Irvelyn. I appreciate it. Tria's Sandals and Accessories. Happy New Year to you. All right. So we have Miss Wendy Miller. She is our first guest. Can you imagine? First guest, Wendy, of 2026. We got to make sure we get the year right. I'm still going to be saying, I'm sure 2025 for a minute, but first guest of the new year. I'm going to tell everybody on WhatsApp, tune in. The first guest of 2025. I knew I was going to say it at some point during the show. 2026. First guest of 2026 is here with us. And Wendy is, I'm going to pull her up here in the screen. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear. You look beautiful. Wendy is Noelle, aka Noli Kayaso's sister. And as you guys know, Noli passed away recently. And so Wendy's here with us, and we're going to be talking to Wendy a little bit this morning. So first of all, Wendy, we want to extend our condolences to you, your mom, and all of your siblings on the loss of your brother. As you can see, he was quite beloved in the community. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I want to apologize in advance if you hear babies crying in the background.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So happy New Year to you and your family as well. We know it's been a challenging time the last couple months after Noel got his ALS diagnosis. And, there's so many people in Cayman who don't even know anything about ALS. I'm so surprised. And there's a lot of people who are struggling with this disease all over the world. And so it isn't one that has a cure or anything of the sort, but I think on average, most people who have it have between 3 to 5 years after a diagnosis that they are, unfortunately, they eventually pass away from the disease. Your brother, unfortunately, did not live that long, and he had, what seemed like such a just strange set of circumstances that came together that eventually put him in the hospital the last time that he was in. But we know that it's been a journey for everyone to find out in the family that he had this diagnosis, and then to start to go through it with him. And it's so ironic because I know that he wanted to do an interview here in the show. He had given your other sister Kathy permission to sit down and do an interview, because he wanted people to know, I think, a little bit about his journey even up to that point, and some of the struggles that he endured in terms of like getting an accurate diagnosis and then starting to get treatment. And it just wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy journey. And I know that, he'd expressed his intention to do that. Even the day before he went into the ICU, he expressed that he wanted to share some of his journey with the community. And so that was Noel. He shared a lot with us. That background that you're showing me there looks awfully familiar, because I've seen him do podcasts right in front of that same backdrop there, the curtains and everything. And he was lively, he was vivacious, he was, in your face. And yes, there's some people who are like, oh my God, it's too much, but he was who he was, uniquely him. And so he was, we had our little tiffs at times too, and we just hashed it out and kept it moving. And there's something to be said for people who can like have a moment, you get upset with each other, you might even tell each other off, and then you come back and say, you know what, that's in the past, let's just keep it moving in a positive direction. And so there were so many things that he enjoyed doing. He loved, for example, cooking. That was one of his things, cooking and baking. And I know that you also have been given the gift of culinary skills, and you be throwing down and you have your own little business that you do catering and stuff. So there's so much about him. He was an active member of the LGBTQ plus community. He had organized the first Pride Parade here in the Cayman Islands. So he did a lot for people. He did a lot for the community. And so, on behalf of so many people here, I want to, he was active in Windsor Park, active in politics. I just want to acknowledge that your brother really did a lot to help a lot of people. So, and he was a voice for a lot of people as well.
Thank you so much, Miss Sandy, for putting that lovely piece together. I'm sorry for the boo-boo crying. I was a hot mess after reading that, because seeing everything that Noel put together, has done over the years of his life, and see you put it collectively together, that I was practically playing it strong until that moment. And that's why even my mom was like, she needed that, because Noel wasn't only a big advocate for outside, for the community, but for our family, for sure. So I just want to say thank you for putting that together. My family wants to say thank you on behalf of my family. We want to say thank you for doing that as well. But it's still hard. It's still fresh. But I just wanted to just highlight highlight you for doing that for us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was my pleasure to be able to do that. And it's sometimes we don't even look at the overall impact of someone until something like this does happen. And then you sit down and you think, wow, they've come a long way, they've done so much. I think that we've all started from very, very humble beginnings, and trying to just better ourselves, elevate ourselves, especially in a small island, can have its unique challenges. So, I think that he certainly did a lot. None of us are perfect, and we're still on this journey, that we call life. And so we continue that the community appreciated it on so many different levels. So you're welcome. It was my pleasure to be in a position to be able to do that. So, like I was saying, oops, turn this light on. Right. So quite ironically, the Thursday, which would have been Thanksgiving, that we had that telethon for him, it was crazy because the response that we received from the community was just nothing short of amazing. So many people called in. So our goal was the $6,000 for the bed and pledges. And by the end of it, we had almost doubled that in the number of pledges. People were just calling and says, yeah, I'll give 50, I'll give 1,000, I'll do this. And it was just amazing. The number of people that really, really stepped up to the plate and were willing to give. And so much so that other people were like, well, why can't I have a telethon? I'm like, this was a very, very serious situation that Nole was in, medical condition. So we have to reserve our requests for situations that are quite serious in terms of, the type of request that it is. We don't want to fatigue our very generous community, no doubt, but we don't want to fatigue them by always constantly asking for donations for this, that, and the other thing. But we felt like this ALS diagnosis, his requirement for medical equipment, at home to try to keep him out of the hospital and at home with proper care was something that would benefit the quality of his life, right up until the end. So the response was amazing. And then the following day, I have to tell you, the way that it played out, Wendy, I couldn't even believe it. I got a phone call from a gentleman who said, hey, something's happening down on Oak Mill close to Noel, but I didn't, in my brain, I think they use the term down by Noel. Right. I didn't actually put it together that it was actually at his house, that whatever was happening, police, ambulance, were there. So I said to the person, I was like, oh, okay. But before they had called me, another member of the Windsor Park community messaged me and said, voice note, what's going on? The power's out and I haven't seen anything online from CUC. And so I actually had reached out to CUC, ironically enough, to say, I didn't know there was a power outage. I'm in Lower Valley. So they said, yeah, the power had gone off. I think a car had hit a wire, a light pole or something. And so that tripped out that very narrow area. And there was a couple thousand people without power for about 14 minutes. And they said it happened so quickly and they were able to restore it quickly.
I think it was longer than that, to be honest. It was way longer than that.
Really? Well, my CUC source said 14 minutes and it was pretty much restored. So yeah, so that's what they told me. I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
But then they, and then I said, okay. So they said they were going to post something on social media. But they were busy trying to get the power restored. So it wasn't until probably an hour after that then I understood that power outage actually directly impacted Nole's situation, because he is on a breathing machine, or he was on a breathing machine that he relied on. Was he on that 24/7 pretty much?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Ever since he went to, he relied on it before going to Miami, because he had to go away to Miami for medical treatment. Mm-hmm. But ever since the accident that happened in Miami, he practically relied on that. So he couldn't go without it for any time at all. So it was the CPAP machine that basically chipped out. It does have a battery pack, but by the time, because my daughter was there and so forth, by the time we got around to try to connect it, he was trying to explain how to connect it and all that stuff. It was just, he lost breath after that. He got unconscious and it just went down.
Yes. Because I was kind of wondering, I mean, you've just answered one of my questions because, of course, I was wondering why there was not like a UPS or some sort of battery backup or generator or something. So the device itself came with a battery pack.
Yes.
Oh.
Let me state this, Miss Sandy. I knew a little bit. I wasn't really too much involved in the medical aspect. Chastine and my other sister know a little bit more,
Mhm.
but I was aware after the fact. So I'll answer as much as I possibly can, but
Yeah.
that's what I was aware of after the fact. Um, he does have a generator, but we then once again didn't know that the generator was off.
Mm.
So automatically, when the light turned off, when the light chipped out, we were wondering what happened to the electricity. We have a generator as well here at our house, but our house wasn't connecting to the generator. It turned on, but it didn't connect.
Mhm.
My husband came home like 5 minutes before, and my daughter, like I said, Noel called Zayel over like probably like 10 to 15 minutes before the lights went out. So she was over there. So I wasn't even thinking when the lights turned off that I wasn't even thinking about Noel because Noel has his generator. We automatically think that it would chip in, he would be
Mhm.
good. We were just trying to figure out our side why our house wasn't connecting to our generator. So my husband then went down the street to see what was happening. We heard the sirens and stuff. So he went to go check and see what was taking place.
Right.
Um, so me and mom, I had the baby, and mommy was trying to figure out why the house was connecting. It was after the fact. Now when we came outside, my husband then came back and told us, okay, somebody hit the light pole, and same time Zaya like bolted over. Mommy, uncle can't breathe. I then gave my mommy the baby, literally ran over. My husband was right behind me. He went
Mhm.
straight for my brother's generator. I went straight inside of the house, and then
Mhm.
um yeah, it
Yeah.
we tried.
Yeah.
We tried.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he would have been without oxygen for um, a good couple minutes by the time the ambulance would have gotten there, and then the ride to the hospital and stuff as well. So he was in the intensive care unit. And I know there was a bit of back and forth with the medical team in terms of, what they were saying the prognosis was. But unfortunately, on Christmas Eve, he actually passed away on his own. So, I mean, at some point,
That's true.
I think the advice was that you guys should have removed him from the breathing apparatus because he just wasn't breathing on his own. Like he was on life support. And that machinery is what was keeping him alive, basically. Alive. And I use that very
Yeah.
loosely.
Um, one of the reasons why um I'm also on the show is because Noel was very adamant because because of his condition, he was very adamant and spoke
Mhm.
to especially my sister Kathy. He spoke to her and said, "Look, I don't want to be on any machine."
Right.
Was doing the research and how far he would go
Mhm.
and how low he would be. He was like, I do not want to be on any breathing machine. If it's a situation where I end up there, all I want to do is just literally come from the hospital straight to Churchill, straight to cremation. And
Mhm.
my understanding, my sister was like, look, at least give us something. He didn't want to suffer because the sickness does cause a lot of pain. He was in a lot of pain.
Mhm.
He was suffering a lot. And persons who tend to have ALS um, go down quite quickly,
Mhm.
even if it's some sort of like treatment, I guess, something that the medication that they
Mhm.
give to try to not delay, but like to extend their life as long as they can. Um, he was suffering a lot.
Mhm.
So that's one of the main reasons of me coming onto the show because most persons I just want to say also thank you to the community, the Cayman Islands, for everybody who have once again supported Nolly, um, who generously gave their donations to help him with the bed. You know, he wanted to do the fish fry as well. Um, because our mom taught us, like, if there's anything before even going on your show, you wanted to do the fish fry.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our mom taught us, like, look, we got to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, we got to try to get it on our own. We pushed to try to get it on our own. And that's where the fish fry came in. But
Yes.
once again, we lost him. And of course, most persons, after hearing the news, hearing the situation when he was in the hospital, was like, look, with the fish fry or the donations that were given, like, look, we want to just give it to you. We don't look for anything in return. We know that he won't be able to get the bed, or the fish fry won't be happening because the fish fry was still,
Mm-hmm.
we were postponing the fish fry because we didn't know where it was going to go.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, some persons, we just want to make sure as a family, we sat down as a family collectively and said, okay, there may be some persons that may want their refund.
Mm-hmm.
And if those persons wish to receive their refund, please, if it's a fish fry, if you can please bring back or WhatsApp WhatsApp your fish fry stub
Mm-hmm.
that we can connect it to the stub that we have. We will donate. We will return your money back. And for those who have generously
Mm-hmm.
donated towards the bed, if you're wanting your funding as well, just WhatsApp your information, your full name, your banking details, that we can be able to once again make that connection, because of course you put your name and all the information. We will
Mm-hmm.
connect it, and then the amount um, that you donated, we will resend it back to you. And for those who, most persons, which we thank you for, um, most persons are saying, like, look, we don't, Wendy, it's a donation, put it towards
Mm-hmm.
Noel's medical. You know, of course, at that time, we were hoping to bring him back home. Now that we've lost him, some people have said, like, look, you can put it towards the um, funeral arrangements and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Irvelyn is, stating what most people are feeling. She says, "No way, Wendy, we won't take it back." Yeah, I mean, most people gave, from their heart, of course, and so we certainly appreciate you making the offer, no doubt. But we do know that there would have been other expenses even associated with his passing. So, um, yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it is, no doubt, a very, very trying time. And I'm so glad that you mentioned what his desires were, because I do know that the family, when you were told by the doctors kind of what the prognosis was, you knew very well that he never wanted to be in that situation long term. And he had made, and I think this is, when we think about our lives, I think so many people have never had this conversation with their families. Like, if this happens to me and I'm on life support, what do I do? I think that maybe we should all be having these conversations with our families. Like, do we want to be kept on life support and sustained for a really long time if the physicians are saying, that there's nothing that can be done? But I think all things really just worked out as it should have, because you did not have to take him off. The family didn't have to take him off. He just passed on his own. Because I think when you have to make that decision, it's always going to be one of those things where you always question in the back of your mind, like, should we have left him on another day? Would that have made a difference? Although the medical advice might be like, no, just take him off. So,
Yeah, that was definitely a challenge. Like I said, my sister Kathy, she was Noel. mostly told her. He told Chastine a little bit, but he mostly told Kathy, because Kathy, and the promise that she makes to her brother, she keeps it, whether she find it hard or not. Um, she's adamant of keeping that promise. So he was like, "Look, sis, it's an uncomfortable conversation, like you say, like, but we have to have this conversation, and this is what I want." In addition to him just wanting to not be on any machines, he's like, once again, he didn't want to have any funeral or anything like that. He just wanted to go straight to cremation. But my sister was like, "Look, at least give us that opportunity." So he agreed that, like, look, if it gets to that point when it gets to that point, it's just immediate family. So knowing how much Noel was such a power pack for Cayman, I know a lot of people have showed so much support and love and is asking about funeral arrangements and wanting to be a part, show their respects and all that stuff. And it's really hard because I even kind of push back and like, guys, at least give Cayman a candlelight, something. Noel, as adamant as he was on the streets and in the community that came on, he's very adamant about what he wanted within the family. And
so he did not want any kind of a service.
No, not at all. At all. And I'm sure he knew exactly why. Because Noah's quite private. He's as much as he's a very burst of sunshine out there, he's quite private as well with a lot of things with his personal life. And I guess that's being personal. So he wanted it to be very personal, to just he didn't want to be he didn't want to be a problem, no issues, because we all know the how expensive funerals can be and so forth, whatnot. He's like, look, let's just go straight to there. But he granted us the okay for immediate family, like his brothers and sisters and his mom, to at least have a private viewing. Once again, say our final goodbyes, and then he'll be cremated. So I wanted to apologize and let the public know Noel's wishes.
Yeah, I mean, there's no apology, right?
Because I know a lot of people really want to come, a lot, and we understand, because it is, even people from overseas are willing to fly in. Because it was a major impact overseas as well. People were willing to fly in for the funeral. I've been calling to find out what the arrangements are, but it's been really a tug and war. But we want to grant his wishes.
Yeah. And I think that's so important, because not everyone will, want the same things. And this is why I say it's important for you to, number one, express to your family members what you do want, and, make sure that they understand that very, very clearly. And so, yeah, I mean, that's his choice. We all will want to have things done differently. So, yeah, that's his choice, and you guys, I think, are doing the right thing by just ensuring that his final wishes are carried out. So Ms. Shirley expressing her condolences to the family. Evelyn says the donation is a donation. Lavana is saying, can the funds be donated to something else that he would have liked? So if you have excess funds, maybe you could donate it to a foundation or something that he set up his own foundations, and he worked closely with people impacted by a number of illnesses. So maybe one of those foundations, any excess can definitely go to them as well.
Yeah, we will definitely talk about that. I know he was very adamant of helping the I think there's an ALS group that involves, I think, Dr. Lucloy, correct? Yes.
Okay.
So we've donated a lot of the medical supplies and stuff like that he had brand new. Some of them we never got the opportunity to use. We've donated it to either Jasmine or the ALS group and like stuff like that. So definitely we will discuss that, and I know he was adamant of definitely helping the ALS group. So that is definitely something we can speak about and move forward with that. Yes.
Yeah, we'll leave it to you guys. We're sure that you'll do the right thing in terms of that. Miss Island Pearl says, why would anyone in their right mind ask for their funds back?
To be honest, you'd be shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is, I try to be as neutral as possible. Yes, me automatically, if I do something for somebody, my intention is to like, oh, I don't want anything back. But there are some persons that may really have the intention to get the fish, oh, it's not happening. Okay, I want my money back. Or it may be they last little $2 and they don't get towards the medical supplies. And they're like, okay, it's not going to happen again. Can I have my money back? I mean, and it's okay.
Yeah.
I see that it's okay to, if that's what you want, and that's fine. So, I mean, remember, everyone's different alike, I guess. But we just want to make sure we cover all grounds, if that makes sense.
Right. And I actually have some money that I have to give you. I came across one envelope here when I was clearing off my desk. Funny enough, it's from Miss Lucille in the UK. She arranged for it. Wow. And it was in a Butterfield thing. And I almost accidentally threw it in the garbage. And then, because I was here, my desk has been such a mess. And so I was like, oh my gosh, just looking at everything here. And I was about to throw it in the garbage. I turned it over and then it said donation, $50, whatever. And I said, oh shoot, I need to get this to you guys. So I actually have 2 donations that people gave me in person that I still have to get to you guys as well. So, yeah, I think the majority of people, though, are not going to be requesting any money back. But like you said, it's good to at least give people that option if they do want to do that. Lavana says, I'm so glad that you're honoring his wishes. A lot of people don't do that, even when the person makes certain wishes. She also had a close family member, her dad, who got an ALS diagnosis. And so she said that she was really thankful that her dad had absolutely no pain with his ALS. This hit home for me. Noelle was my dear friend. There is a very public figure right now who's actually dealing with a diagnosis. He's an actor, and there's lots of people who have. I think
he passed, didn't he?
No, not this one. This guy here, and Jim makes reference to him. Eric Dean is his name.
Wasn't he Grey's Anatomy?
Yes, he was one of the hunks in Grey's Anatomy. He now 54 years old, so young still, has 24/7 nursing care, and he has been relegated to a wheelchair. And so for some people it hits them really hard, really, really quickly. And there was a story just on December 29th where it was talking about Rebecca Gearhart, who his ex-wife, I think she suspended the divorce. I can't remember, but they were getting a divorce when they found out then that he had this diagnosis. But she separated from him in 2018, but she has stood by him as his former wife and mother of his children. And one of the battles was trying to get the necessary care through insurance coverage. She kept saying, they just shared the story recently where the insurance companies in the US were turning down the request to get him 24/7 nurses care, which is something that you need with this diagnosis, as it, rapidly changes how people are able to help themselves. And it was really, really interesting because she was just saying that trying to figure out the healthcare system and health insurance and how they'll deny you, and that you have to keep appealing. And she was actually told by someone from the insurance company to basically every single time you appeal, we're going to deny it. And she would not give up. So finally, just last week, she was sharing that she has been able to get him locked in, as she said, with the proper insurance coverage. And you think, like, what insurance companies would be denying this sort of thing? It's just unbelievable. But now he has proper 24/7 care. So,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely needed. It's
So, yeah, I mean, even we know that even in Nala's case, I think he had a nurse the day that we called. He said he was getting his breathing treatment and stuff like that.
yeah. Yeah, he had two nurses, and
Mhm.
it was a lot. I'm not gonna get too much into it, but it was a lot where even with the two nurses, my opinion, it was really hard on the ladies because Noel is tall, was
Mhm.
tall. He was very heavy. You would have to sometimes help to lift him up and stuff like that. So with one nurse, it was kind of a challenge. So like another family member would have to be there to assist to lifting him and stuff like that. It was a lot. It was a lot, but definitely they do need 24-hour care. With
Mhm.
nursing.
Yeah. Very sad. Um, Unbelievable.
But once again, I just want to take this time to say thank you once
Yes,
again, Miss Sandy, for allowing me to come on your show,
absolutely.
for um, allowing me to take this time. Once again, thank you to the community for your generous love, support, encouragement. I mean, it has been a blessing. It's been well needed. Your prayers have been received,
Mhm.
and we will continue to receive every prayer that you guys have for us, because we're literally holding each other up emotionally. We were strong. Chastity is strong. Kathy is
Mhm.
strong. My mom is a beast.
Mhm.
But your prayers have strengthened us, and support
Mhm.
has strengthened us. And once again, we just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you,
Mhm.
thank you so much from our hearts. Um, and once again, if you do want your donation back, just WhatsApp Nolly's number 526-1001. Just text or take a picture of your fish fry stub if you're wanting to be refunded for your fish fry, and your
Mhm.
banking details for the donations for the bed from the
Mhm.
telephone. Um, um, and then we'll give that information and we'll be able to refund you back and so forth.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you, my darling.
Thank
Uh,
you.
Irvin says, Miss Wendy, this CMR family is a different honey. We give it, not to take it back. Make the best of it.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for coming on the program. And again, our sincere condolences to the family.
Yes.
And we'll keep you guys in our prayers.
Thank you so much, Miss Sandy. You're the best. Love you.
Yes, thank you very, very much. All right, folks. So Lavana says, K-Man is so blessed, trust me. Say what you want about our government, but Sinico was awesome to my dad. My dad had Sinico as a seaman, so that helped him tremendously. Jim says, may I just say, comparing one's pain to your own is not the same as the individual presently suffering. When we do that, we diminish that the individual is presently going through. You should never say, I know what you're feeling or going through. No, we don't. It's each and everyone's own. Desert Rose says, I really hope that no one will request their money back. I mean, I honestly don't see that happening. The Real Michelle says, whoever asked for their donation back are only showing you who they really are. I mean, I'm not going to judge anybody. Maybe they have a situationship. I don't know. But I also don't think that the vast majority of people, I don't think anybody really is going to be asking for that back. This person says, please read from Vernita. Please give Wendy my deepest condolences. I'm heartbroken and shocked. It's hard for me to digest this because you know how close he and I was. I'm so hurt. I wasn't there for him as when I used to. Please, I can't say anymore. Saying that it's very painful. And yes, we have a lot of friends and people overseas. We would visit and party, sing and dance and go to eat, etc. If I was there, I would have taken that bed and sleep on the same side he slept on. Tell her, please. And then says, amen to what Jim said. Who knows it, who feels it, knows it. Yes, I mean, everyone has a unique experience. And I think people they're not trying to diminish anyone else's experience. You know, they're just trying to share, I guess, as best they can, that maybe they somewhat understand. It's just human nature to try to relate to people. So, yeah, no one can fully understand unless you're actually there with those people in that time, in that moment. Mm-hmm. All right. The Real Michelle says your strength is shining through despite the difficult conversation. You present your family with grace and indisputable respect. Happy to say that radio's back on. This time it wasn't me. It wasn't me. They forgot to schedule me in. They probably thought I was taking off until next week. Honey child, we are here. Let me see. Okay. Yes. Very, very challenging times for sure. Mm-hmm. All right. Jim says grieving is a personal journey. We all feel it, but in our own way. Go through the journey of loss and treat yourselves gently as you do, and take whatever time you and your family needs to, and don't allow anyone to tell you anything different. Damaris says it's okay because we also feel the pain. All right. Alan Pearl says if it was up to me, you guys would keep every cent. I donated, and when I heard about his passing, I simply told myself it would help with funeral arrangements. I never expected to have it returned. And I think that's exactly how most people obviously feel. Jim says following Eric Dean's journey is shocking. We never know what tomorrow will bring, not for any of us. And that is the truth. Not even tomorrow, Jim. Sometimes it's like same day. You're good this morning and kaboom, something goes far left by afternoon. You know, listen, life is, honey child, life is what it is. There's so many diseases. There's so many, people are having strokes, heart attacks, brain hemorrhages, aneurysms, same thing as brain hemorrhage, aneurysms, all sorts of stuff. And so just in general, I think that it is every time you get up and you feel pretty good for the day, you got to say, yes, praise the Lord and hallelujah. All right, let's get this show on the road. You got to live it to the fullest. That's why. Oh, my Lord. We need to get up and do some squats. Hello. It's a new year and it's squatting time. Oh, I'm going to admit that I don't feel like doing it, but you know what? It's a new year. And even my daughter was asking, Mom, are you still squatting? I was like, no. Come on. I think I'm going to hold it. My energy is actually very, very low this morning. You know, some days you can feel your physical energy lower than others. So I'm just going to do a holding squat. Although a holding squat is no easy, it's not any easier. I'm probably not even going to get past the count of 10 this morning, but just a little something. Wiggle it and jiggle it. Yes, we're alive. That's right, Michelle. Let's squat. We're alive and we can do a little squat and jiggle it and we're going to wiggle it. Just hold it. Let's see if we can get to 25. 1, 2, somebody count it out for me, honey child. Count it out. 3, 4, already I'm ready to sit down. Lord Jesus, give me strength. Come on, thunder thighs. You can do it. Oh, we made good strides and then we stopped. Oh. And I can feel it. Now that we've stopped, I can totally feel it. Yes, honey shell. It's a new year. And so let's start with 10. And we're going to get back up to that 50. We were doing so good. And then you see what happens when you fall off the wagon? You got to start all over again. I did 19. All right. I'll take that for now. Remind me again in half an hour or so. Jim, somebody counted for me. They said it was 19. So we're going to get back on it. You guys going to have to remind me every hour at least. We're going to get up and move and do a little bit. Yeah, man. We were doing good. And then we stopped. That's a lesson of don't stop. Just keep going. So, what else is going on? Well, I tell you what. I feel like today's like a Monday. The holidays kind of mix up my brain and what day it is. And yesterday felt like Sunday, so today feels like Monday. Jim says that was a fast count to 19. Honey child, we can take it for now. We'll get there. Don't worry. We're going to work back up. Got to work on some that Cayman style beef and everything else. Not just the beef, honey child. We got Cayman style beef. Yesterday we had barbecue and all the good sides. We had a brownie. Oh my gosh. We got a lot to work off, but we can do this. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Someone has messaged that they want to donate something services wise. I will pass that along. Thank you. Not to worry. That was a personal message. All right. Okay. So, yes, we need to. Good morning, Faith and Hope. Yeah, we need to step it up in terms of our exercise and stuff again. Gonna start walking. I got that walking pad. I need to pull it back out. And so somebody says, please stop talking about plantain and breadfruit and beef, making them hungry, and they're all the way in the UK, so they can't get none. Ay. Set the clock. Yes, 9:20. Somebody let me know. We'll do some more squats. When the door opens and you're squatting, start counting from 64. Why? Shouldn't you be counting from 1? Jim says physiotherapy is kicking my butt. Is it? Oh my gosh. Poor you. What on earth is going on? I feel you. All right, honey chow. Right. So I've been getting a lot of messages naturally from the conversation that we had the other day with Minister Michael Miles. And, a lot of people have been messaging me saying, oh, Sandy, do this, Sandy, do that, Sandy, do this. We think you should do that. And I'm going to tell you how I feel about the situation, but let's take this caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
No.
Hello, honey.
Don't worry, start on me. Don't worry, start on me this month because I'm not feeling good. Watching wishing him come on the show this morning about our brother that passed away. First of all, I don't think it's anyone in the Cayman Islands will ask for the money because there's other expenses. And away from that, I hear somebody talking about breadfruit, and I know that word is strength for me. You understand? So I'm not feeling good, so I'm blazing up this morning. I tell you, I felt chastity and them praying. I tell you, it's so sad listening to it.
Thank you, my dear.
I watched him grow up when I only been Georgetown on that. He's such a friendly little guy when you were younger. Anyway, God is God.
Thank you. I appreciate
All right,
it.
babe, take care now.
My dear, bye-bye. Yeah, there's so much loss. Oh my gosh, I just saw this. I remember Kate Goslin, that Kate plus 8 star. She's 50 years old now. And one of her children, her dog. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I'm reading this. I thought this said her son, Nanook. Oh, it's her dog that passed away. Oh, still. Well, dogs are family too. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. God, at first I read that as her son. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Let me not put my mouth on her children now. Lord Jesus, no. I was just looking at a few things online. So Miss Chastine says, Miss Lavana, this is his sister Chastine, and we have planned to be a part of the ALS Foundation in my brother's memory. We will assist them with whatever is needed with donations in his memory. Thank you so much, Chastine. Appreciate it. All right, Miss Evelyn is on the road. She said she can't squat, so you got to make up for it later on. The real Michelle says it was funnier in my head and the timing. Sorry, girl. Yeah, sometimes things don't translate across. Anyway, so what I want to say is a lot of you have been requesting me to do certain things. I've been getting your messages. Some of you are still in shock at the conversation. Somebody's like, oh, do a poll, do this. And let me tell you how I feel about the whole situation with Minister Miles. Couple things. Yes, I was surprised at what he was saying because a lot of it was illogical. It actually didn't make any sense. So I am very much aware that we're human beings and we have a lot of emotions. Some people express their emotions more. Some people really carry it on their shoulders. Some people are not good at expressing it. I'm a person who I want to know, right? So not knowing for me, like I'm a person who needs to have a conversation. If we're in any kind of a relationship and the dynamics of that relationship change, most of the time, not all, but most of the time, I need to have a conversation. And so I'm here doing a job on behalf of the people of the Cayman Islands. This is a job. My primary job is to inform people, to engage in conversation. This show is part of a much broader platform. And so when in the past, when we had people not engaging, Juliana O'Connor Connolly, for example, and her government, and it wasn't all members, because to be sure, Sabrina Turner, although she was part of that government, she was showing up. I think she came on the show as a minister more than anybody else during that particular administration, right? For the time that they lasted. Obviously, the former premier, Mr. Wayne Panton, came on a regular basis, and we had others, coming on. So the election changes dynamics sometimes. And like I said, our services were made available to everyone. Not everyone took advantage of it. So whilst you guys were here trying to put that squarely on my shoulders, I was like, people had the option, of where they want to spend their money and what they want to do. And I had no beef with CINP. They couldn't get it together in terms of working with CMR. And I don't want to rehash exactly how that happened. It happened, right? So there was a lot of back and forth. I had meetings with their leadership early on. In fact, I had meetings with their leadership before anybody else, which is kind of ironic. And in the end, they still, did not come on our platform as a group. We had individual members, for example, Ms. Julie Hunter, she was on here. And, I understand that her team made it very, very clear that they wanted to reach the people of Cayman, and the way that they felt that would be done was through this particular platform, especially the people of West Bay North. It's North, right? So everybody has a choice. That's the beauty of life. People have a choice on what they want to listen to, what they want to read, what they want to engage with. And I'm all about free choice and exercising those choices, right? So I, in my head, thought that I knew what was going on. But like I said on Tuesday's show, no, today's Friday, Wednesday's show, West Bay West. Thank you, Jasara. My apologies. Oh, all the districts, so confusing. West Bay West, yes. I thought I knew why he was up in his feelings, because that much I knew was obvious, and I knew that he wasn't coming on the show. I had messaged him and WhatsApp him a couple times, inviting conversations and whatever, and basically got no response. I thought, like I said on Wednesday, Wednesday, in the name of, moving into new year, clarity, whatever, let me just give him a call and, say, hey, whatever this is, how about we try to bury the hatchet? I'm not that, I don't have any issues with this man. Now, a few of you have come back to me, and I do think it's interesting. Some of you have come back to me and said, well, he thought that you were supporting Sabrina during the campaign versus him. And I'm like, well, he wasn't a paid customer. So TCCP was a paid customer, and Sabrina was part of their team. So of course she got some coverage. Like I'm confused at how this panned out, and where, if you're a paid customer, you get what you pay for. So it's a little bit weird. And yes, I was taken aback by the things that he said, because I think part of me was hearing things like, oh, if you don't agree with me, or as media, if you're not going to be soft on me or supportive of my position, that I'm not going to come on your platform. And so he interprets that into, oh, we don't want negativity. And I was like, negativity, or you don't want tough questions? You don't want the people truly engaging with you? Because the amount of engagement that we have on this show every single day, literally hundreds of comments, nobody else, and I this isn't a question, nobody else has a level of engagement that we do. Nobody else gets the number of phone calls. Nobody else gets the number of social media comments, et cetera, et cetera. So it's almost like he doesn't want that engagement. And I put my mind over the last day to why that could potentially be. And I think part of it, honestly, is, especially with this immigration legislation, he's not ready to dissect it and really fully explain it to people. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know if he's not confident, or he doesn't feel like he has a good grasp on it. I don't actually know. But that's in my heart, what I think is part of what is largely going on here. So yes, part of it is he has some issue with me. Fine. Okay. But you're a representative of the people, right? And the people are saying, we want you to come and meet us where we are. And he's refusing to do that. Now, I think a couple of things I find ironic. Number one, he did not win by a landslide. When he was talking to us on Wednesday, I was listening to a man who came across as though he won by a landslide, that he has a strong mandate from the people. In fact, he barely won. He won by 13 votes. Sabrina Turner lost by 13 spoiled ballots. Imagine that she didn't have any spoiled ballots. She would have either had a tie or somebody would have won or lose by 1 or 2 votes. Because it's funny, the number of votes that he won by is what she had spoiled ballots for. So if her people didn't spoil their ballots, you would have had a tie. And then what, a runoff election? But he was going on in a way as though he had a clear mandate, like he got 80% of the vote. That is not what happened at all. So I do think that, it's interesting. And a lot of people have said to me, oh, he's very, very arrogant. Like they saw it as a degree of arrogance. Everyone will interpret what they heard. And certainly, I think it's interesting. A lot of people who know him said that's just how he is. He's always been like that from school days. That's just how he come across. One person said, and I must add, although you already know Michael Miles is a horse's ass, as my stepfather would have said, and I wanted to drive into a wall yesterday. His ego needs a good damn checking. He made an embarrassment of himself, I thought. And I was like, okay. And they go on to say, like you said, Kenneth Bryan most frequently disagreed with you, but he's never shy about coming on to your show to have a conversation about the issues and what you and he might have had different opinions about. That's what made Miles' excuses and pedestal posturing so outrageous and truly unbelievable yesterday. So these are some of the comments that I was getting yesterday. My phone was just buzzing off the chain with your comments. And so it is what it is. As Mel, what's her name? The author of the book that we're all supposed to be reading. When people show you who they are, let them. I see some of you on social media defending him, saying, oh, he's giving Caymanians a chance with his training school and this and that and whatever. And one thing I know about people, this is human nature. If you like someone, you will allow them to get away with a lot, right? You let them get away with a lot. Your judgment is clouded because of your like of them. And the same is true of the opposite situation. Your judgment is clouded because of your dislike of people. So you can't see when he's sitting here questioning, well, no one has ever told him to come on my show and he doesn't think that we have more numbers than anybody. I was like, are we watching this? Even when he said that like, I'm not in support of his immigration policy. I'm like, oh, do you listen to this show? You told me you do, but are you sure you listen to the show? Because those things are not factually correct. I was kind of like, huh? But let them. When people show you who they are, let them. One thing I know about Prospect, the Prospect voters have a knack. There's no person since single member constituencies who has returned to Prospect after one term. Not a single person. So I think that Prospect is a very interesting constituency. Let me put it that way. Them Prospect voters will move you quicker than you can say, let them. Let them. Let them show you who they are. Take your time, honey child. Make your observations. Now, someone could be great in business. I don't know anything about, well, I'm not going to say I don't know anything. I'm not going to get into his business and what services he provided. And some of you have gone through it. Allison, thanks for your comment. She said, oh, he's training Caymanians, but he doesn't do that for free. Either you paid or someone sponsored for you to go to a program. Does that mean, if I'm a student and I go to UCCI and I pay for them and I get that degree, that I'm going to think every single thing they do from here on out is correct and accurate and on point and whatever? No, that would be ridiculous. But I know how human beings think. And I let y'all go ahead and defend whoever you want to defend with your comments and your thoughts. because they were, in your opinion, great with one thing. Therefore, you can't call them, it's flabbergasting to me that people who are in elected office don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be put in the hot seat. Oh, they can't take the negativity. And so then they try to castigate Cayman Mall Road as, oh, we're just about negativity. That is the most ridiculous statement I have heard in a long time. You cannot be an elected official and come in with that kind of attitude and fear people who put you into office. So let me also be very, very clear. When people start to show you in the early days of political life certain traits, if you don't want to have them end up like a McKeeva Bush, we're 40 years in, they're the biggest you-know-what that this country has. Narcissistic behavior, this, that, whatever. You think McKeeva developed that in the last couple of years? He's always been that way. Y'all need to pay attention. You need to pay attention to what you see and read the room for what it really, really is. Let's take a call. We got some callers calling in. Last question here says, Abby or Bay says, how many votes did Sabrina Turner win against Austin? Again, that was a vote that was split almost down the middle. I can get you the numbers, but I can tell you that it was like a 1/3 almost between all of them, but she did win by more than 13 votes. That much I do know. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mama.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm done. I just wanted to say good morning.
Oh, I not forget you, I got him on the counter.
I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you. Have a good day.
Thank you, baby. I know what you're calling me about. Them brown is in the corner for you.
That blood pressure going in there looks very nice.
Thank you, honey child. We got another caller. I can see you later. Oh, Lord, he calling me about them brown is. That what that about? Let me see. What was the voting? I get you the information. Call me back, caller. By the way, toll-free number, courtesy of Flo. If you're a Flo customer, when you call us, you're not charged for the call. Big shout out. Thanks, Flo, for the toll-free number. It took us a long time to get that number, honey child. Let's go ahead and take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Happy New Year, Sandra.
Happy New Year, darling. How are you?
I am in between.
All right. Well, you're still here with us.
After listening to you and Michael's story.
Oh.
It put me in between. But let me tell you something right now.
Mm-hmm.
A win is a win. And I know you know that.
Of course. A win by one is a win. but my point is, yeah, listen. But my point is the way in which he spoke. If you didn't know better, you would have thought that he won by a bigly number, as Donald Trump would say.
Yeah, sometimes you can't help what people think,
It was
by what?
It was
that you try to worry about what people thinking, nothing wouldn't happen.
Well, it was the attitude that said, I have a clear mandate from the people.
That is us. We get frustrated when we're trying to do our best and trying to help, and it seems like it's not appreciated. Most of Caymaners are that way. I am one of them.
When you
try to speak sense to some stupid politician that don't listen.
Well, I was going to say, when they get into politics, they should know.
They would hear everything and obey and comply. But because of who you are, they don't want to listen.
Well,
I'm telling you facts. It's been happening over the years.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
They will pay someone to tell them something that you've been telling them for free forever.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on who you are. And Michael should have been inside there from the days of Craddock Eubanks. Things wouldn't be the way it is in Cayman right now. Because we need people like him to stand up for us. And who don't like it, they don't have to be here. He's trying his best to help Caymanians every single year. We have hundreds of people graduating from high school. When they get out on the streets and got nothing to do, what do you think going to happen? Crime going to increase. Who's going to stop it? No one. They can't stop what's happening now. When it gets worse in the future, who's going to stop it? They're going to bring in the army, the Navy from the U.S. and bomb everybody.
Yeah.
to keep the rich richer.
Well, let's
Come on, man, you got to look at the future.
Well, let's see. The immigration policies are coming in 4 years. Let's
It
see
should
how
have
much.
been here long ago.
Oh, no doubt. But let's see how much of a change that's going to make in 4 years.
It's going to make a difference.
Okay, well,
We just have to enforce everything that we say we're going to do.
Okay, we'll see in 4 years. In 4 years, we'll have the proof.
Well, hope for the better. Don't make it look like it's going to be a bad thing. Let's wish it work.
Well, I don't live my life on wishes. I live on results.
You don't live on wishes?
Like I said, in 4 years, we will have the results.
I have one wish that I could live on. Everything that he said could happen.
Well, you know that.
Life
doesn't operate on wishes.
Because it's not going to be pretty this area and the years to come.
Let's just say
have a good day, darling.
Thank
Good
you, honey.
speaking to
You too. Let's just say that you don't develop policies based on wishes, and you've got to have a bit more than that. We are supportive, by and large, of the immigration change, but it has to be effective change, and that's what we're hoping for. That's what we're going for. Change for the sake of change, is neither here nor there. But y'all are really missing the point here of the conversation. It has nothing to do with immigration policy. You basically had a minister who sat here and told you, throw freedom of speech out the window. And some of y'all are willing to say, I'm okay with that, as long as he pushes through immigration changes that I think are going to help Caymanians. And the average Caymanian is so lost in this world in terms of understanding labor and workflow and the international pressures of all this work. All these listen, Cayman could right now cut itself off to the rest of the world, cancel all permits. And that is not going to help you guys one single bit. Because when you understand how quickly someone can organize their companies and move organizations overseas and have things done, just like y'all will complain about the telecom companies now having call centers overseas. What immigration gonna do about that? Not a damn thing. Y'all need to stop fooling yourself. And let me be clear on this point. Politicians who tell you, and let me be very, very clear. I'm all for Caymanians first, but politicians who tell you that through their immigration policies, they're going to be able to put all those kids coming out of schools, as the last caller just said, in positions, in jobs, and that's all as long as you try to control the work permits, they're lying to you. You know why? Because if those kids are not coming out equipped with real world skills and at least some basic education, the right work ethic and all these other things, it don't make no difference. They are not going to advance and go anywhere in any of these organizations. You're not going to force an organization to hire Caymanians and fail because they're hiring Caymanians. So let's not water down the real issues in this country and think that it's just a work permit issue. There are a lot of Caymanians who have piss poor. I was talking to my aunt yesterday at lunch about this. She said all these so-called starving children in Cayman, she says them parents need to do better. They need to get up and off their backside and go to work and set a good example. Immigration policies in isolation, no matter how pro-Caymanian you make them, is not going to help. Who is the biggest offender of these marriages of convenience but Caymanian themselves? Y'all acting like this is an expat issue. Those are your own people who are doing that. And for a couple of dollars in their pocket, destroying their own country. What politician can fix that? Come on now. Someone asked for the numbers from last time. There you go. Austin Harris had 30.38% of the votes. Michael Miles had 32.38%, and Sabrina Turner had 37.24%. So all very, very close. 288 votes, sorry, for Austin, 307 for Michael, and 353 for Sabrina. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sandra. It's a very interesting topic this morning. I listened to your conversation yesterday.
Day before
with
yesterday.
Michael Miles.
Mm-hmm.
Day before yesterday, yes. I listened to it, and first of all, I must congratulate you for how well you handled it. You called the person up, and clearly he said he didn't want to talk, to come on your show and talk about immigration. I think that a lot of your listeners will agree that you handled it well, because even the comments as they came in, they were saying, "Oh, Auntie Sandy, you're handling it very well." That is the first thing. Secondly, I don't know why he has been avoiding to come on the show. He did say that, well, I talked to a lot of my constituents. Nobody has told me that you should go on Sandra's show. But he didn't say that those same constituents were telling him that you don't go on the show. Okay, so I'm not even quite sure how he makes his decisions to do certain things or not. But so I found that interesting. But it seems to be an attitude, because I recall that
can I say something, Balika, about that bit, right?
Yeah.
He's not just a representative for Prospect. So say the majority of Prospect voters didn't want him to come on the show. He's putting immigration policies in place that are going to affect every single one of us. That's for the entire country. He's a minister.
Exactly.
So I really want all government officials to stop this. This is where the one man, one vote really gets into their head, right? Stop pandering to just a couple hundred voters, especially when you're a minister, because you're representing the entire country and you're putting policies in place for all of us. That's why I said to him, this isn't, he's a representative of the people. He's a minister. All of us will live by these policies that this current coalition government is putting in place. This isn't about just his supporters.
Yeah. And that emphasizes a thing that, if I can draw an analogy with some of the things that happen in the States, do you think that Barack Obama used to love to go on Fox News?
Of course not.
Because basically for Fox News were campaigning against him, but he still went there. MSNBC were campaigning against Trump, but some Republicans still went there. The way you do play the politics game and the accountability game is to be able to go to as many shows as you can, particularly those shows where the people are really listening. I'm calling you now from one phone call. I know that hundreds of people are listening. I have to be careful what I say, and I have to be grateful also that I'm wishing that many people is in the audience. By the way, you might not know that he was invited also repeatedly on air to appear on the short-lived Austin and Elio Straight Talk. They asked him to come on. One time they even spent as much as 30 minutes to say, why doesn't the minister come on?
Which minister was this?
The same Michael Myers.
Oh, the same Michael. Oh, okay.
The same Michael Myers.
Oh.
Elio and Austin went on for almost 30 minutes saying, this was before the bill came out, saying, well, why doesn't he want to come on? We've sent messages, and they practically begged him, and they have a program within a whole program begging that he should come on. He refused to come on. Now, I don't think that they were even as controversial as some people consider you to be. They were sort of like still playing it safe, but he still he didn't want to go there. So maybe there might be a bigger problem there. But I would have wanted him to come on your show because one thing, my belief is that your show is one of the most exacting audiences. They come in, they ask tough questions. I would have wanted to ask him two things in particular in relation to immigration. Well, one, you have already outlined today that this is always very difficult stuff to do, because don't think that because you press button A, the X is going to happen, because it is a much more complex issue.
Exactly. And let me just pause you there, Blakey. It's those complexities that I say is important, right? So addressing these immigration issues in a linear way doesn't in and of itself solve our immigration problems. And for those of you who are sitting here saying that it does and thinking that it does, we need to work on that thought process a little bit more. It is a combination of a number of different things. And one of the key things, which falls under the education minister, and of course we know he's very much engaged, is the fact that we have to upskill and train our people. Without those two working hand in hand, in tandem with each other, you can do whatever you want with immigration. It's not going to work.
Yeah. It is multifaceted, and a lot of that us actually learned a lot when Franz Madison went on radio and explained like where the categories of status holders was coming from. For example, a lot of people thought, oh, a lot of people in government are getting status because there's no rollover in government. It turned out actually that the number of people who were getting status in government by purely tenure was less than 20 per year. They had only given something like about 250 to 275 in 10 years. So that's not where the biggest numbers were. And then it turned out that about half of the status grants were from marriages. And then that's why they came very strong on marriages. They said, okay, now in marriages, you have to be in Cayman for 20 years, be married for 20 years before you get status, which is very interesting because in a modern day society, particularly in Cayman, even good marriages that are not sham marriages are over in about 10 to 12 years. So you are going to say that if you have been married for 10 to 12 years, it will be presumed that essentially that you were in a sham marriage. No, they are trying to now punish, that is my opinion, they are trying to punish everybody who is now married to a Caymanian and assume that all of them, or at least the majority of them, are sham marriages. But let me make the last point, which is the most important one. In Section 35 of that bill, this is something I would have wanted to ask you. They have dealt with what are called transitional provisions. In a nutshell, how will this new law affect people who are already in Cayman? Now, they have made it clear in Section 35 that, okay, if you have applied for status or PR and your application is pending, you will be considered under the old law. If you have applied for judicial review or your judicial review failed and you are appealing that, you will go under the old law.
Yeah.
But the issue they haven't really explained fully is the one which is found in subsection 7. That is the new section 83A, 83 uppercase A, subsection 7. What they say there, as I understood them, seems to tally with what they announced, which is, if you are already in Cayman by the time this new law comes into effect, you are already in Cayman, you are not even eligible to apply. When the time comes for you to apply, you will apply under the old law. That's the way I understand it. In other words, if today I come to Cayman today, the 1st or the 2nd of January, the law which will continue to apply to me will be the old law. So I can apply in 15 years' time. That is in 2041. In 2041, I will be able to apply under the old law. So for the next 15 years, nobody will get caught by this new law. Okay, they will first get caught when they apply in 20 years' time. That is in 20, whatever it is, 41 or whatever it is. So that's the way I read it. That's the way I think it is written. So in other words, that those 20-year time limits, new 20-year time limits, and the 9-year time limits for PR, those will not apply except in 9 years and in 15 years. So in the next 9 years, nobody will be caught by the new law on PR. And this is why 20 years, nobody will be caught.
Yeah, Baliki, let me just say this. A lot of people are confused about these elements, and that is why we wanted to have the minister on to explain it. Exactly. People just want to understand it. How can you refuse to talk to the people and, refuse to explain to people? Now, what I also thought interesting is he basically said he's done a good job because he's been on Radio Cayman, he's been on the Compass, and he's done a couple social media posts. So in his opinion, he's done a good job. If the opinion, and this is the one poll that I will do, right? People are asking me to do all kind of polls, like, do a poll about him coming to the show. No, the one poll that I need to do is, do you actually understand? Do you feel confident that you understand what all of these immigration changes have been because the government has done an effective job disseminating the information? That's the real question, because he said they've done a great job disseminating it in his opinion. Now, they say that self-praise is no recommendation. Right? If you're telling yourself that you've done a good job explaining stuff to people as an organization, and the people are saying, no, you haven't, you need to listen to the people, not yourself.
Exactly, and you know one phrase they've used. And by the way, I'm not pushing any particular point here. I'm just trying to say the clarity of it. You see, when I think it was Danny Warren Jr. at one of the town hall meetings, he asked, because you see, Wes was saying, look, what has been decided is that those people who have already begun their journey towards PR or status, that those should not be affected. And I think I remember him asking, then saying, what do you mean those who have already begun their journey? Are you referring to only those people who have applied or are going to judicial review? Or does that apply to people who are in Cayman today or before the law comes into effect? They didn't answer that question clearly. And then I was speaking to, I forgot to tell you, this is very significant. I was speaking to Charles Glidden on his show Talk Today. And I was making the same point I'm making to you, which is that I do not think that this law is written so as to apply, or rather that people are exempted for the next 9 to 15 years. And you know what he said? Charles Glidden said, oh, no. They are not going to grandfather in those people who are already in Cayman just because they are in Cayman. They are going to grandfather in only those people who have applied or are going through judicial review. And I told him, I said, you have misunderstood it.
You see?
Charles Glidden, you see? And I can mention this specifically because I spoke about him live on the show. And I was surprised that he misunderstood it. Okay, and I still have to call him back actually because we ran out of time. So people like Charles Glidden don't understand it. Do you think that the other people in Cayman who might be a little simpler than Charles understand it? No. That's why Michael needs to come on and let people understand what he has done. My fear is that they know very well that some people might not agree with what they did in that aspect. So they are deliberately remaining vague because they have been asked numerous times to explain it. They don't want to explain it. Danny Warren has also called for a cap on grants. Now, again, you might agree or disagree with him, but the government has to explain why that is not acceptable. Because according to Danny Warren, he said that if you don't put a cap on grants and you gave 1,500 plus grants in 2024, and the birth rate, he has done this research, the national birth rate in Cayman is about 800 plus. That is both Caymanian and non-Caymanian, and that the actual Caymanian birth rate is under 400, then you are granting status at 3 or 4 times higher than the national birth rate. So you will be raised prescally in about 20 years. Again, you might agree or not agree with him, but let them explain why they think that's a bad thing or why it will harm the economy. Let them give us some figures. But anyway, I just thought that I should chime in.
Let me ask you a quick question, and just in your opinion about the role of elected officials. Do you think it's the role of elected officials to explain to people, what is coming down the pipeline in terms of legislative changes, or do they just leave that to the civil servants? Which, by the way, like I said on Wednesday, the civil servants are also not coming on the show from that ministry and that department. So
this is a very interesting one, actually, because there are some people who think that civil servants should not be overly involved in the public campaign to promote legislation, because sometimes that can undermine their independence as they go from government to government. Okay, so some people really prefer that, look, once the civil servants have done their job internally and so forth, and then it goes to parliament, when it goes to promoting it, it shouldn't really be the civil servants because they are just technical people. I know that as legislative council, although legislative council, we were always in a different category, it is considered highly improper for a legislative council to go to the public and promote legislation. But that was because we draft legislation. Now, the civil servants maybe might be in the regular civil servants might be in a slightly different position, but it's a controversial area, but the principal reason, the principal parties who should promote legislation, it should be the politicians themselves. So,
because it does beg the question about what MPs are even doing when it comes to laws. So.
Well, let's see how this is. Yes. I mean, I like Danny said yesterday, and you said, I hope that he can change his mind. I think there's nothing that you said yesterday which would make him dig deeper and to say he didn't want to come on. If anything, I think the chances are that he was given a chance to reflect again on whether that's a good thing to do. I think it is good for him to speak to his constituents, and it might consolidate him in his position. He only won by 13, it might consolidate him in his position. But let's see what happens. I'm still waiting for him to come on. I hope he comes on because I want to ask him this question about the transitional provision. People want to know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Anita says Minister Miles should come on CMR with a couple of his staff if that makes him more comfortable. Yeah, I mean, whatever he needs to prepare to answer the questions, I suppose. Miss Anita, that's fine. Real Michelle says, to be fair, I would imagine being interviewed by a host with a law degree would be intimidating if, as an MP in open parliament admitted they did not understand their own bill. Well, he said he understood it. He said he just couldn't explain it. So there are two different things, to be clear about what he said. So he said he understood it, but he was not in a position to explain it. And I have questioned that because I'm like, well, if you truly understand something, then that's like a teacher, your algebra teacher saying, I understand algebra, but I can't explain it to you guys. Yeah. Jim says CMR definitely gets out the most information to the masses and is and should be the platform of choice, but not everyone feels they want or need to. So let's be clear. If an elected official doesn't want to get information out to the masses, that would make me pause. I'm just saying. And Sabrina Speaks has done an excellent job explaining most, with some amazing call-ins to dig even deeper and express even more on the revisions taking place. Well, Jim, he doesn't have to come on my show. Perhaps he could go on with Sabrina. Do you think he would do that? "30 seconds later. Because I tell you what, Sabrina's show is lovely. She has an amazing personality. So he doesn't have to come on my show. If he thinks that this show is all about negativity, right? That's what he said. Sabrina's show is quite the opposite. She is like fresh roses on a spring day after a nice rain. So go on Sabrina's show. This caller says they're missing the point big time. Michael could never explain like Baliki. Wow, we have questions. Samash says, yes, we do need layman terms. Education and training is key. Rennie says, kaboom, please. Gabby says, that part, caller. Gabby also says that high school curriculum definitely needs a reform so that school leavers are more equipped. The world is continuously changing. Someone else sent a message saying that that apparently they don't think it's a curriculum that's the issue, it's who we're actually hiring to do the training or to teach our kids that are the problem. Prospect Voter here says, we're not loyal in Prospect. We keep it moving. Good morning. Yes, honey chill. Gabby says, so every Caymanian should marry Caymanians if we married, because the reason I married my husband, because we wasn't family. We have a lot of questions. And the thing is, I think there is a lot of misinformation in the public domain about the changes that are coming, but that's why we need them to come on and to break it down and to clearly explain it to us so that we can understand. Okay. Vicky Joy says, thank you for saying that, Sandra. I'm a domestic helper, and I know most Caymanians don't want their own Caymanians in their homes. Well, most Caymanians don't want to be domestic helpers either. So we're certainly not vying for those jobs. That's for sure. Mr. Baliki talked about something that's really, really important, and that's where we pull out fact from opinion. So you can have your opinion to whatever you want your opinion to be, but you're not entitled to your own facts. So even when we talk about who's getting work permits, what categories, right? Where are they from? What skill set? The vast majority of work permit holders in this country are not even at the professional level. They're all like domestic and gardeners and that sort of thing. Is Caymanians really competing with those people for jobs? I'm just saying we got to make sure we're working with facts as well. Azzy says, amen, Sandy. Facts, they're going to destroy this country. Like I said, sometimes there are unintended consequences, and you don't know what the unintended consequences will be until you put something in place, right? Other times, and this is most of the time, unintended consequences are quite foreseeable. And so that is another reason why you have open and frank public discourse on these things. Now, the bill has been passed, right? I even had people the other day when I was at the airport ask me, well, when does it come into effect? Because they did such a great job with the public education that you guys know that, don't you? I bet you right now, if I asked you about the changes that are coming in relation to the e-bike situation, one of those changes coming into effect, you're more likely to know that date because they've been doing a much better public campaign than you are to know when these immigration changes are coming to effect, right? I'm just saying. Who can tell me when they're coming into effect? Did they come into effect yesterday? I challenge anyone right now to call in and tell me when these, because again, they've done such a great job. The ministry's done an amazing job. I'll give you $100 cash right now if you can tell me when are these changes coming into effect. Because I know 99% of you have no clue. I myself don't even know. That is the point. That's the point, right? When someone thinks that they've done an effective job at something, and right now the poll question is up, please go vote in the channel. Has the government done a good job explaining the incoming immigration changes? 17 people have said no, and 6 have said yes. But yet you have a government minister who sat here on Wednesday and said yes. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. What Minister Miles did say in Parliament when I think it was the same day that him and Kenneth were having a lot of back and forth, was that the new law would take effect no earlier than March 1st, 2026. That's what he said. He said he couldn't give an exact date, but it would be no earlier than March 1st, 2026. So it's definitely not today or before March 1st for sure. But we because they were continuing to go, do their back and forth, and I guess get their final law act or whatever you call it in place and get things gazetted. It definitely would not take place before March. So there you go.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, honey. Someone asked the question, by the way, is Dan Scott no longer the leader of CINP? So let me try to explain this as parties go. He is the party chairman, and the party leader is Gary Ruddy, aka Mr. Peanut, and the deputy leader of the party is Michael Miles. Somebody said, what's the difference? Well, constitutionally, there is a difference between the two. So the chairman of the party can be anyone. The leader of the party has to be an elected official. So because Dan Scott did not get elected to public office, he can't be the leader of the party. What other changes there? What are the differences there are? I guess you'd have to look at their internal constitutional document. It's like Alden McLaughlin. Alden McLaughlin is now the leader of the, what do they call themselves? Progressives, PPM. And when he was elected in government, he was actually the leader of the party. So I'm gonna send you some stuff here that I've gotten in terms of just a little bit of information. So the leader in the political is the political head and face of the party, while the chairman, where the role exists, is more of an internal organizational and administrative head. So I think this stuff will be useful to you. Another person says, and the minimum wage is going to mash us up too. Yeah. Let me see. Good morning. Okay, we have another comment coming in here. So go vote in the poll because I'm curious to know how many of you are confident that you understand the changes that are coming down the pipeline. Because again, the comment was made on Wednesday's show that, they've reached the people that need to be reached, which includes you. And do you guys understand the changes that are coming and what the implications of those are? This person says, good morning. If the minister does not want to appear in CMR, fine. His decision is detriment. His detriment. However, he's obligated to advise the public on all aspects of the law, pull together a legally educated team and send them to all the shows and discuss and take the questions from us. You know what else is interesting? When you have a sitting minister who says that they see a platform, this is very reminiscent of other countries that suppress freedom of speech, right? They see a platform as being against them, as being negative, and them not wanting to engage. So ministers have the privilege, I'm just trying to understand this, they have the privilege to put their heads in the sand like an ostrich and not live in the real world? Because say whatever you want to say about CMR, but we're bringing it to you real. We have a pulse on the community. We know exactly what's going on in this country more so than most people. That's how we're able to get you certain news tidbits above and beyond a lot of other people. Who else brings you more Cayman Brac news than we do? Right now, no other media this morning has announced that drug boat that came into Cayman Brac yesterday that was set on fire after they unloaded it. You don't think that that's something important that's happening in the Brac right now? The continued influx of drugs on that little small island? Yeah? Nobody reports it. They will report it when the police send out their little blobber, which is normally, 48 hours later. They'll get around to, oh, yeah, drug boat came in. Meanwhile, that means that in all likelihood, there are illegal immigrants right now, criminals, roaming around Cayman Brac free as a lark. And nobody has notified the Brac community, the Cayman Islands community. Lock up your houses. Make sure you're checking your cameras, your Ring cameras and whatever, because there might be some people now low-key looking to hide out in some of these homes that are vacation homes and whatever on Cayman Brac. We have the pulse of the community. So you don't have to like this platform. That's your business. But you cannot, as the minister actually did, you need to go back and listen to what he said. You cannot sit down and tell me, yeah, that, oh yeah, you guys don't really have the numbers. I'm like, what? We don't have the numbers? Nope, nobody's really paying attention to CMR. Are you kidding me? I can prove to you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, even on social media, compared to any of the government websites, that we have the numbers. And I can prove that independently. Huh? That's not an opinion. You see? This is the difference when you come with opinions versus facts. Thank God for all of the amazing platforms and numbers that are available. What WRC social? Let me see if I can find there. Do they have a Facebook page? I don't even know. What is that? That's the Ministry of, what is that ministry even called? They are Ministry of Labor? Oh God, I don't even know what I don't even know what his ministry is called. Lord Jesus. Which ministry did he get? Hold on, let me go look it up. Is that Home Affairs? No. That is the Ministry of Labor Employment. That's the government of India. No. What is Michael's ministry actually called? Can somebody tell me? I have to go Google it. I don't even know. Hold on. It's not coming to me. I mean, I should know, but I gotta be honest with you. They do such a great job. I don't even know. What is Michael Miles's ministry called? Cayman Islands. Let's see. He is the Ministry of I mean, I know WRC falls under him, but I don't know. Oh, Ministry of Caymanian Employment and Immigration? That's not the ministry, is it? Caymanian Employment and Immigration? That's not the name of the ministry. I think even AI is confused. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a page called that on Facebook. Ministry of Caymanian Employment. Oh, damn. AI just told me a thing or two. That's the name of the ministry? Shit, I didn't even know that. Ministry of Caymanian Employment and Immigration. AI was correct. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, then. Thank you, AI. I legitimately, not a word of lie, I didn't know Caymanian was even in there. Ministry of Caymanian Employment and Immigration. Okay. You learn something new every day. There you have it. All right. So they have 3.9 thousand followers. And let me see here. They have an article that they did on December 19th that talked about the Immigration Transition Amendment and Validation Bill, which is this. The fact that it was passed got 27 likes. That was posted December the 19th. I'm just curious as to how much coverage, because he said there was a lot of it. I'm just curious as to how much coverage they even gave it on social media. So the 19th was a post. And looks like the 10th, there's a sound bite from him of a minute. Got 5 likes. 751 views. Somehow they end up posting the same thing twice, I think, 1 minute and 8 seconds. I guess they're assuming that you guys are sitting down. December 1st, there was another post about the transition bill. 8 people liked that, including the Ministry of Tourism and Trade Development, so we won't be counting them. So 7 people outside of another government page. They did something on November 21st. 4 people liked that. One person liked a post on the 17th. On the 13th, nobody liked that one at all. And that was about the immigration bill. It says join the conversation. So this is the public consult part of it. They had another one on the 13th. Nobody liked that. They had a series of posts on the 13th about the immigration bill. Nobody liked that. November 7th, this is when they were getting people, like gearing people up for the transition, for the consultation. So they had 4 people like the post from November 7th. 12 people liked one from November 4th. They did pictures apparently of a town hall meeting that was held for North Side and East End. 3 people. And let me show you guys the number of people who turned out to that meeting. Just so you can, again, when somebody says they've done such a great job reaching people with their public campaign, how many people are in the audience there? And some of those would be probably government workers. Let's see if we can do a quick count. We literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, maybe 16, 17 people. And of course, some of them actually work for government, because you can see the guy in the front, he's a civil servant. There's probably 1 or 2 more civil servants in there. And this is reaching the masses. This is give ourselves a pat in the back. We've done such an amazing and wonderful job. Help me out here. Help me out here. You know, they had a bigger one here at the Mary Miller Hall, but really not by much. Again, facts. This is Mary Miller Hall. That's how many people turned out for this very, very important topic. And this is proof that they are reaching. And like I said, a lot of these people are actually civil servants who work in the ministry. So that's why they're there. It's not like they probably even want to be there. I see Sunshine. She's probably there trying to understand the legislation herself. So when you look at who actually attended, you know, these are civil servants. That's a civil servant. That's a civil servant. That's a civil servant. They work in WRC. So maybe they were there trying to educate themselves. All right. Well, one thing for sure that I know is time is the great equalizer. That's right, Real Michelle. What has been hidden in the shadows will come to light. Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias, Can. How are you? Yeah, thanks, Carrie. I gotta be honest with you, I didn't even know they change up the names of these ministries like every 4 years, so it's kind of confusing sometimes. The people of our islands do not engage in public government forums that are destined. Well, I think RMR, the truth of the matter is, there is, in this day and age, we're in 2026 now, right? If I ask most of you, what's the best means of reaching you, the public, you're not going to say setting a meeting at 7 p.m. at Mary Miller Hall or whatever. Not to say that they shouldn't have those, because I guess those 5 people who attend who are not civil servants need to know what's going on as well. So, you know, I guess. The Real Michelle says there's no such thing as freedom of speech. The drugs, the churches, the banksters, the CEO gravy train politicians, it's all about to fall. Carrie says the cocaine has not stopped because some of them dealers are protected by corrupt persons in the police. Well, I understand that some of them are actually, I'm shocked when I heard this the other day, that some of them are actually known drug dealers, but because they work with the police as informants, they give the police misinformation, by the way, that, yeah, apparently it's still on. So what a mess. Real Deal says a lack of involvement by many of the parents is part of the problem in the education system. Yes, I do agree that we have many of the wrong people teaching our children, hence the need to be involved. Carrie says, I got the news from you about the boat. Lord have mercy. What a mess. RMR says it's time for Caymanians to wake up and engage with what's happening in our country. We can no longer stick our heads in the sand and hope for the best. People should have come out to the public forums. RMR, you need to listen to what you just said, right? If people don't engage in that way anymore, that's so 1990s. Maybe what actually needs to happen is our government needs to deliver messages in a way that reaches the people. I'm just saying. You're asking, you're running a marketing campaign and you're asking people to adjust their behavior. That's not how marketing campaigns work. You have to adjust your campaign to meet the people where they are. That's the whole point. That a pint. That is the pint. Okay. Okay. Our Kirks. That is unfortunately how government thinks. Hence why, a lot of their messaging fails. Because they're like, oh, we'll just throw together a town hall meeting and tell people to show up. Wait for that to happen, honey chill. Trying to see. Oh, I love all the Christmas messages, by the way, from all of the government officials. Christmas and New Year's messages. Very, very nice. So all the ministers did one. Maybe I'll do a compilation of these messages. I think it's always nice to see them and what they've been up to. Funny enough, of all the ones that are posted on YouTube, France Manderson and the Christmas message from the Honorable Premier got the most views. Everybody else got less than 200. France Manderson got 345 and the Premier got 364. Let me see. I'm just trying to see if did they live stream these meetings? I'm just trying to see if that happened. When was the consultation period even? Let me see. October. So let me just scroll down a bit here and see if they were available for live streaming. 4 months, October, November, December. So about 2 months ago, I'm not really seeing anything. I'm seeing 100 days from 4 months ago, 4 months ago. They didn't live stream the meetings? Huh. Okay. 3 months ago. 3 months ago. I'm just having a quick look. No. Doesn't look like it. So you don't live stream the town hall meetings? Wow. You guys have done a great job. Pat yourselves on the back. Yes, I'm being very, very sarcastic here. I don't even see where they were live streamed. Wow. All right then. Anyway, who am I? Who am I to tell anybody how to run a marketing campaign? Okay. RMR says Caymanians have to now ready themselves for opportunities. We will always need immigrant workers. We have to carefully manage our economy. No, Jim says, Sandy, reality is not everyone likes you. Some are intimidated. Some are threatened by you. Some don't trust you. Some don't like your delivery. And some will not support you for whatever reason. It shouldn't be about you. But it is when it comes to some people. I don't agree with everything you say, but we're still able to respect one another and express ourselves openly and freely. That's called freedom of speech there, Jim. Freedom of speech. That's where it's at. The meetings all had the options for people to interact via social media. Where? Because I just looked on the government YouTube channel and I didn't see any. Let me check that Facebook page for live events. No past live events. Okay. So where were they engaging online? Where was it live streamed? I mean, help me out here. You tell me where to find it. I legitimately don't see it, but it could just be that I'm missing something here. So where was the town hall meeting being held? It says, I see an advertisement. It says, join us on Facebook, YouTube, and CIG TV, but then I can't even see where that is after. It's not on their page in CIG TV. So whose page would it have been on? Well, let's check the general government page, maybe. Cayman Islands government. Let's see. They have a live thing here. So 4 years ago, they have something up from past videos. I don't know. Help me find it. Because one of the things I know is people, like even with this show, people like the option to be able to go back in time in case they missed it initially and liked. And, you know, like it and watch it and whatever, or not like it and watch it, whatever they want. And you can ask the minister questions in the comments. Where was it live streamed? And do you have a link? I mean, I would love to go back and have a look. All right, someone on Sabrina's show from the UK said he broke down the bill using AI in layman's terms. I tried it and amazing how it caused you to question it after you got to understood it in layman's terms. Question it in what way? Like question it like because you didn't understand certain things, or question if it's actually going to work. So there are lots of, I mean, there's lots of tools that can certainly help you with this, but yeah. So RMR says that I went to the Mayor Miller Hall meeting, which was live streamed. Questions received from the public via social media. All right. Well, share the link if you have it. I'd love to be able to watch it. Sandra, the DPP don't record their decisions, so no surprise, nothing is live streamed. Wasting public purse. What do you mean record their decisions? Oh, you mean their internal decisions and how to proceed? I guess because there's no requirement in law that they do that. And until the law is changed, then there you have it. I think it was live streamed. Fresh Joe says the bill needed more time and fine tuning. Spending will decrease. Spending on what? All right. If anybody has the link for the live stream, because I couldn't find it on the government YouTube channel. I couldn't find it on their Facebook pages. So if you have the link from those town hall meetings, please share it with me, because I'd like to be able to go and have a look. Okay, folks. I would like to add that you are indeed correct. I only know that from listening to the House. I haven't heard that from any other forum. Heard what exactly? Sorry, specify, because that was at 9:42. God only knows what I was saying at 9:42. This one says, leave the losers. Our CMR standards are too high. Somebody said Martha is Michael's comms person. Who's Martha? I don't know who Martha is. Okay. All right. Anywho, please keep in mind, someone says immigration law is March. Let's see. Oh, we have some more comments here. It's so funny though, because the country was so ripe for immigration reform that anybody who does anything with immigration reform is naturally going to be seen as a hero. I think that is interesting. So here we go. So this says, good morning, Sugar. These people are not concerned about Michael coming on, but they are about Sabrina. It's just that a lot of them just wanted or didn't like Sabrina because she was doing a great job. Everything she did, they wanted accountability. It seemed like Michael don't have to be giving any. These people realize he is doing as he likes, but because they don't want to say that, because it would say Sabrina was doing a better job. If I speak, they will say I am just speaking because it is Sabrina's competitor. I think people need to let that go. She lost the election, like we said, even if she lost by one, even if she lost by one vote, she lost the election. And she has certainly moved on. And so, you know, some people still up in their feelings about he won't go on her show because that was his competition. I'm like, he's a minister. He is a government minister. Come on now, this is ridiculous. Oh, someone sent me the link. Thank you. Town hall meeting. Okay. So I found one of the town hall meetings. So they live streamed one. Thank you so much for the link. I appreciate it. I'm going to go through and try to have a look at it. Oh, so this was in relation to the information regarding the effective date of the new immigration law changes has not been properly shared with the public. Only one of the town hall meetings was shown online. I watched it on YouTube. Denny spoke last. Giovanni, aka Jevi, was the MC. And somebody just sent me the link for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, CMR got our pulse not just on Cayman, but remember last week I was telling you guys, not last week, that was this week, on Tuesday or Wednesday, I was talking about Michael Lee Chin and the NCB group. Bigly news. We're going to go do that story here now. Bigly news coming out about that. I told y'all, keep an eye on that situation. Did I not? I sure did. Mm-hmm. Boy, that's going to hit hard in terms of the regional economy. All right, folks. I think that's all I've got for you today. Monday, thank you. Somebody else sent it to me as well. Thank you very much. Listen, it's a brand new year, and I want to extend an invitation, as I have in the past, to all governments. Reach the people. Use all platforms at your disposal. CMR is here. If you want to come on the program, all you have to do is reach out. I remember the day the police commissioner said, of all the years that I've been to town hall meetings, I can never say I've ever been to a town hall meeting that had 500 people. And right now you've got like 500 plus people listening to me live. So there's something to be said for that. The people want to know The people want to understand. And oftentimes you have to say something more than once for the average person to understand it. These things are complicated. Bills and changes are complicated, right? As Kenneth Bryan said, he's a legislator and there were certain things that he wasn't understanding himself. So you have to say it not just once, not just one live stream. It's like a constant educating of people all the time. You say it different ways. You say it multiple times. And that is ultimately how you engage and you get people to, understand what's going on. More and more, we're dealing with people with shorter attention spans. That's why even the social media platforms now, all of them, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, they're all moving towards reels that are less than 3 minutes because they know the algorithm tells them what gets the engagement and what doesn't. So if social media platforms that have millions and millions and probably into the billions of followers are adjusting themselves and how they reach the people, what say you about government officials also making the necessary adjustments? The comms team making the necessary adjustments and how they are reaching people. It's time for all of us, even here in CMR, one of the things that I've been saying to you guys that we are definitely going to be doing more and more is taking clips from our show and do 1 minute little shorts. Because we're trying to reach more people in a more effective way. Right? Thank you so much, Real Michelle. She says, thank you for your courage to tell the cold hard truth. You are supported clearly. Thank you for you. I appreciate it. It's not about friendships. I don't have to be bosom buddies with these government ministers. I mean, to Kenneth's point is, the media can be your friend or your foe. You can choose that. That's completely on you. I have had in the past ministers contact me. Well, why hasn't my story gone up on your website? Or I haven't seen it. And I'm like, well, it's in the queue. We have to make decisions about how urgent a situation is in terms of publication. But, sometimes you kind of push media in that direction where we're not even going to support you with the stuff that you do. Why should we? His ministry sends out something now, right? And this is where if we wanted to be petty, we're not going to do this. But if we wanted to be petty, you could see where clearly we could do so. He refuses to come on CMR. He's not going to have anything to do with CMR. That's his position. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. All right. You do that. And then every single time you send out a press release, we ain't going to publish it. And it becomes this really nasty, back and forth, quid pro quo, as we say in the legal fraternity. And then, your stuff doesn't reach anybody. We could take that attitude towards people who say that they refuse to come on our platform. We can say, okay, two can play that game. Just think carefully. When you jump up and you say, you're not coming on media because we're so negative. Okay, that means that you obviously don't need us to support you in anything that you publish or anything that you send out with your press releases. And so we're going to just start file 13ing your shit as well. What do y'all think about that? Oh, no. You'd be like, oh, Sandy, you can't do that. Oh, yeah? Huh. I wouldn't do it, but not because I can't do it. It's because we're trying to hold ourselves to some degree of media integrity. But ministers, a government minister can get up and say that they're not going to engage with media. I actually had another government minister say to me, I said, is this for real? Because they couldn't believe their own ears. And I was like, yeah, it is for real. right, beautiful folks. Yes, Jim, 2026 is here. You guys did not remind me to get up and do them squats. I'm going to get up now and do a few more. Thank you so much. All the best to all of you for 2026. We're here. We're not going to change what we do. In fact, we're going to do it better. We're going to come harder. We're going to come colder. Every single year, we try to redo our theme songs. I got to think about for next week how we're going to do that. But we've done bigger and bolder before. So I feel like I want to do something else. I'm not sure yet. But if you have any ideas, we are very much in tune with what you guys want. This is the people's platform. So send me your suggestions. We've done the whole spill the tea one before. A lot of people like that one. Send me your suggestions for 2026 and let me know. All right. Okay, Vicky says, I hope they call him out on it. The other ministers? Someone also mentioned this probably goes against the ministerial code of conduct. I don't know. Why play a game? Is it shown very clearly? Do you not smell fear? Does not rise suspicion? Trust your intuition. Use your discernment. It's more than suspect, girl. It is more than suspect. Y'all have a beautiful day. It's Friday. Go out there and do something fun. I don't know what to tell you. But I think that you should do something fun today. It's a beautiful day. Oh my God, the weather has been gorge. Loving, loving, loving every minute of it. And yeah, we're here for it. It was sweater weather. I definitely had to put on a good sweater yesterday. Brr, the ocean breeze up north side was nice, but chilly. Have a beautiful day, folks. See you guys back here on Monday. And we should be back with regular shows this week. So the content creators took off Christmas week. And some took off this week. But we'll be back in full force for next week. So Sabrina's show should be back on Monday. So tune in to her at 5:00. Be safe, please. Oh, yes, you're outside now. Isn't it gorgeous, Jim? I'm going to go and spend some time outside today, too. Get that nice little breeze on my skin. All right, you guys have a beautiful day. We'll see you on next week, Monday. Have a safe weekend. Please be safe on the roadways. Let's aim for 0 roadway deaths. That's what we're aiming for. All right, people. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.